Hello everyone, this is UC from My Trade Price and welcome to the weekly episode here where we go over all the core charts that we follow and trade. So let us get started. Here is the Amazon weekly chart, still in a nice uptrend, making higher lows. Nothing wrong with that structure. And if you notice, this was the multiple sort of the resistance from multiple weeks. We had quite a few touch points here in the past few recent weeks, and this last week we closed above that resistance of 32.47, 32.50 area. So not bad, a little bit of volume uptake. So again, take it for whatever it is, but nonetheless a nice bullish week to close here. And digging down to a daily time frame. Let me clean this up a little bit. Sorry, it's just a little bit of a mess when you look at it that way. But here's that multiple resistance in the weekly time frame. We got a nice bullish trend bar on Tuesday. We went a little bit sideways, but you can see that we never got back below this 32.50 region. I mean, never closed below it. We did go below that on Thursday, but we did see a nice bounce back up all the way, and now this 33.14, 33.20 is a resistance level that we need to kind of get out of. But the good thing is that the price is being accepted here above 32.50, so it's sort of making this consolidation, sort of making this I don't know, for lack of a better word, sort of like a pressure cooker region where it just wants to kind of it's banging against that price level of 33.20, and it just wants to go back up. So we'll look for that move to happen, but it can go a little bit of sideways. I will still be looking to play bullish because the higher time frame is bullish. The trend line is intact. The moving averages are pointing up, so everything is nice and healthy. So no reason to kind of just take the opposite side and try to kind of play the downside here, because right now there is no indication that this is going down. And even on Friday we never went below like the 50% move of this trend bar, so it's just holding it nicely. And this is a really nice bullish piercing pattern here in the daily time frame. And even if I drill down to 4-hourly, you can still see we still do have that bullish piercing bar right here, which is a pattern here actually, where you get this daily 4-hourly downtrend bar, and then the following bar is a bullish trend bar, which actually takes the price all the way up. And now we're getting some resistance here in this 33.20 region here. So look to play the move above that as a breakout trade, or kind of go sideways. As long as it's holding 32.40, 32.47, 50 area, I will look to play the bounce, or just remain bullish in this this area right here. Okay, so now let us go to Apple. Going to start off with a weekly time frame because we had a nice week up. What a nice bullish trend bar. We got a nice kind of, yeah, it's just been making higher highs, higher lows, so nothing really bearish here. But usually when this kind of pattern plays out, where you have this big move up and then not so big move, just kind of slightly higher move but sideways, and then another big move up, usually that means we are kind of getting close to the sort of the top level. And I don't expect a whole bunch of bearish move, but I do expect some sort of a little pullback to sideways action, but still remains elevated prices. So nothing really too concerning for the prices to come down all the way. And since we still have one more week before the split happens, so all that euphoria of buying the stock before the split, yeah, I think is still valid, and it will still keep going till the actual date. So one more week and we'll see what happens. And it very well could be where you see really a nice push to the upside all throughout the week, and towards the very end you just see a sell-off, and it gives us a sort of like a hanging man bar, or like a inverted hammer, where you see this long top wick and the stock closes right around where it started the week. So I am guessing that will be the case, but we'll see. Daily bar, again, nothing really much to talk about except just playing the levels. Really nice push all the way up, very heavy volume. So again, a push like that, when that happens, usually you see another gap up. So let's see if we see a gap up on Monday open and then just kind of chop sideways to still more push towards the upside. 510 can be a nice psychological next target to play on the upside. Okay, I'm just going to stick with the levels intraday and look for bounces, and that's it. Not much. Just look for sentiment, I guess. That's a good sentiment check if you just look at Apple stock. Microsoft, let's go to weekly time frame. Still, uptrend is intact. However, this 215 to 217 price region has been a resistance. We got the sell-off right here when the price was here last time. Then we couldn't really go past that price point. A few weeks ago we did pull back but move back up, and then again right now making a lower high. So look for that price, I would say price range to break if you want to play the breakout. But for right now, it can very well be where we just kind of chop sideways, see if the trend line test happens early in the week. The daily time frame, this 208.9 was a very good support all throughout this previous week. We did let the 20 SMA catch up as well in the daily time frame. On Friday, we tried to go back up with the rest of the market with like tech stocks, but couldn't really do it. As you see, we have a lot of resistance here in this time, in this region, above 2015 all the way to 2016, 2017. So if we get some nice price acceptance here earlier in the week, we can see some breakout happening, I guess. So just look for this 20 SMA in the daily time frame to provide support. Okay, let us look at Netflix, and I was going to start with the weekly time frame. So here is Netflix, very range bound since the past few weeks now, as you can see after this big sell-off earlier in July. Since then we have just been sort of sideways. And going to the daily time frame, the good thing is that it held 50 SMA on this kind of big move down, and since then in the previous week it has formed a little bit of support here, a nice base at 483 level. You can see multiple touch points, and then eventually on Thursday it did move back up above the 20 SMA, and on Friday it held that 20 SMA support and gave us a little bit of sideways consolidation type of a move. And it is right at this downtrend line in the daily time frame. So if we are to move above 499, that is a good weekly level to look for as a breakout trade. However, it can just give us a little bit of sideways move as well. So if you don't want to play a breakout because you think it could fake out, just let maybe an hourly or 2 hourly or even a 4 hourly bar close above 499, and then see how far above it closed above this level. And if you still have room left to play the resistance above this level, which is around 508 or 511 level. So if you see an hourly bar or 4 hourly bar close above 499 and it's close to like 502, that means it has closed above this resistance level, and then the resistance up top becomes sort of the target. So 508, 511 becomes your target on the top side that you can play towards. Okay, so and in the 2 hourly time frame, it's a nice bullish Hikake setup. So not going to go into the details of what that Hikake setup is. You can look it up, but just quickly, what it means is that you have this inside bar, and then you have these two bars that made lower lows, and lower highs. But if you get a move above in the next two bars that takes you above 494, 495 level, that means that the high of this inside bar got broken, and now that it becomes sort of a tradable setup against the low of this inside bar. Okay, all good stuff. BA. Okay, let's see what we can do with BA. Played the credit spreads last week on this name, so it did close weak after this sort of, let's draw this trend line. So if I were to draw this trend line like this, it did manage to go above that, and now it's kind of back testing that trend line. It will be interesting to see what happens earlier part of the next week, see if it dips down and then moves back up, because this becomes support now, this trend line, or if it just wants to keep going down and breaks down below this weekly 20 SMA line as well. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Drilling down to a daily time frame, very sort of range bound again in the past few days, but not really seeing big bearish move down. So we're not seeing any bearish follow through after these moves down in the daily time frame, right? So okay, it's not bullish, but it's not even I would say it's less bearish to sort of getting more neutral now, sort of like deceleration pattern where the move down is just kind of dying down a little bit. It can, yeah, I mean, what it means is it can just, you know, dump down from here, from this 165 level. But for right now, at least from the structural point of this chart, we can see some kind of sideways to an attempt to move back up, but not going to trade this until we get out of this 174 and then towards the low side. If we break down below 165, supports over and above and below the support level are all highlighted here. Okay, let's go and look at ROKU. Again, very tight name, not much happening. The only good thing about this name is that since it broke out in early July time frame, it has made this move sort of sideways and really nicely holding 146 support on a closing basis. It has not closed below that in all these weeks, below that level. Whenever it comes down towards this level, we see a little bit of bottom wick and the bounce back up. Yes, we're not seeing any move up for the bulls, but it could be that it's waiting for this trend line to catch up, which looks like the next week it could be. And then we see a nice bullish bar that takes us all the way up towards 158 or even 160 level, which is sort of the resistance now that we need to kind of consider on any break to the upside. Okay, on a daily time frame, you can see a lot of chop sideways action. Not really much happening in terms of the price action. We just kind of go up above towards 152, sells off, we come down towards 146, and then kind of just bounce around in that same sort of price range. So nothing really happening, just chop, just time decay. If you were, it was a good trade to do if you got into credit spreads, because it just stock went nowhere. So okay, let's look at NVDA. Really nice healthy trend, broke the channel towards the top side, nice, and now don't really expect any big move down, but I would like to see a little bit of pullback so I can get into some credit spreads for this name. 472, a really heavy gap support as well for any significant move to the downside, which could happen or not, but look for that level to provide support on any move down. 4-hourly time frame, again, we saw a nice 4-hourly bar on Friday, and then the last 4-hourly bar was just sort of like a sideways move, not much happening. So I think this channel top trend line that it broke out of can be a good support to look for on any move down, but the path to leads resistance remains up. The volume was high too, and this was like, you know, the earnings week. So good stuff, good stuff. Okay. Another name that I am looking to consider is this MDB. Look at this nice weekly chart. it broke out right here from this resistance, and since then it has been making this nice bullish flag in the weekly time frame, right? So any big red week would not see a follow through to the downside. In fact, we'll just see a pause and then the move back up. Here is another one, move down, pause, move back up, move down, pause, sort of a, caught up with this 20 SMA as well, held the multi-week support, and then the move back up. So nice, good, healthy price action. Look for this to break on the top side as a bull flag, breakout. The daily time frame, it could be a little bit more visible. You can see it's been giving really good range both to the upside and downside, with 186 area as support and 233, you can say, a little bit of resistance. So any move above that level can be a breakout. And with earnings coming up towards the end, actually towards the start of next month, it could remain a little bit choppy to sort of sideways and bullish, but the breakout can definitely happen on the earnings as that spark, right? So really nice, good looking chart here to kind of keep in mind. Okay, last but not the least, here is your QQQ. So really good, healthy uptrend, nice channel. So yeah, nothing wrong with this name right now, and it's just kind of creeping all the way up. And there are these price levels, these significant price levels in the time frame that you can look at, daily time frame, much nicely visible, that it is holding all these support levels. And now let's see if the price gets accepted here around 282, 283 price range. We maybe chop sideways before the next move up. All the short-term moving averages are pointing up, so nothing, all the pullbacks get bought. So again, not interested in really playing aggressive bearish trades right now. I would consider bounce plays or pullback plays to play the long side as long as this trend remains up in the daily and even in the weekly time frame. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll post more charts and answer any questions if you have any. Thank you guys, and have a good rest of your weekend.